My name is Simone. I live in Galway with my husband. I'm married, 3 children. I'm an occupational therapist, so I'm self-employed and for the last 6 years. And that brings its own challenges, but it's very exciting work. The reason I wanted to go to money coaching was because I've always felt nervous around my money. Even I remember vividly in university when my parents would send me money and I would run out of money, and then I would leave it a couple of days. I'd be so ashamed to call them and ask them for extra money. And so when I saw the advert, I was like, I'd really like to do that. It seemed quite engaging, and I like things like that are easy to understand. So because I'm self-employed, and I was at the time, it worked well for me because I was pregnant. I was about 6 months pregnant, and I knew that I was going to take maternity leave. And so I was qualifying for the maternity benefit, which was great, but that wasn't going to be enough to live. It wouldn't have given me a lot of wiggle room. So that's why I wanted to do it, to kind of help me in the short term plan for my maternity leave and have confidence that I could manage that happily, but also then other things like having savings. I had no savings, I had no emergency fund. I also wanted to consider getting a mortgage, have money for my children's university, things that originally, I guess, things that I would think everyone else has, but going on the course, it's not true. I realized that not everyone has those things, and it does take work to create, I guess, a lifestyle where those things are achievable. I think the first thing that struck me was the variety of people. So there was kind of these two young couples there, and I was like, oh, that's very sensible, that's very good. But then there was other maybe women on their own and blokes on their own. So that was kind of nice that everyone was in their own. Yeah, it was all stages of life. So I really like that. I enjoyed the sessions because I really there's places to write down your thoughts. So I'd be quite a person. I wouldn't necessarily retain all the information. So I'd kind of write down things that might come to me, oh yeah, I should try that. And then the videos were good because by design a video is clear and concrete. So it's taking you through a pace, which is nice. And then there was lots of interactive activities. I have to get up out of our seat, which is very good for someone like me, not just being pregnant, but just in general. I like to move around. So getting up on the table and sorting cards into different piles and, thinking through things that really matter to us. And also there was one day where we were kind of debating things about essential and non-essentials. So it was quite funny. People were like, certain things were non-essentials, and I was like, they're essentials, and that just shows that it's so unique. And so how people manage their money and what's important to them is unique. And so I think that gave me confidence as well to say certain things are important to me and they may not be important to another person. So and I've been thinking about a lot lately, if I go out for a walk, it's just nice to have a cafe so I can have a cup of tea. I don't even drink coffee, but a cup of tea, that's important to me. And I like, if I'm going somewhere, to be able to buy the kids a cup of tea or a hot chocolate, even a bottle of water if you're out and about. To have that $2.50 for the bottle of water, that's really important, but it might not be important to anyone. But I think that's something that I've allowed myself, is to say, you can have this tea, you've budgeted it, you know what it's about, so you can have it. So a part that I found challenging was it was recommended to put a weekly spend budget on myself. And I remember having a discussion with Helen, who was facilitating it, and wondering why this was so hard for me. Why could I not just stay within some parameters that I had set? So it wasn't that somebody was going to say you have 40 quid and that's it. I was going to set it and agree to it with myself, and I wondered why that was hard. But once I did it, it was easier, because I think I realized why it was hard. It was hard because sometimes I'm a little bit black and white. So say if I set €40 for the week, I would be like, that's it now, that can never change forever. But what I learned in the money coaching was if €40 wasn't working, I could change it to 45, or I could go down. Oh, actually I'm saving money, I could go back. So, week on week I can review it. It doesn't mean I've failed. If I've gone over 42, that's not failure. That just needs reviewing, and that's been very kind of a lightness. There's been a lightness to that. So even now, my situation, I'm kind of back to work, but my maternity benefit is finished and I'm back to work, but I'm not at full capacity. So it's just being able to sit down and go, okay, well, maybe change it here or change it there, or you will have money in this much time because you're going to build up your practice again. So then, those kind of short-term savings, the savings that maybe are once a year, like the TV license is in June, I don't need to worry about that, even though I'd like to have it built up monthly. So I have it in June, but actually by then I'll be working at more of a capacity, so I can just leave it for now. I don't need to worry about it. Yeah, it gives you that control, that feeling of control. So the lasting changes within myself since doing money coaching have been definitely that confidence towards my money, but also confidence that I have, it sounds odd, but like confidence that I have money to offer. So for example, a couple of months ago, I went to a mortgage appointment at the bank with my husband, which I would have never have done before. But then we turned up with the baby was like 2 months old, and we turned up and I honestly felt like I can be here. You know, I didn't feel ashamed of my income. It's quite a vulnerable process. So definitely that, and so it is now more of a plan or more of a achievable goal. And I think, you know, I had wanted to have more of a grip on savings for the kids for university if they choose to do that. I think I realised in the money coaching that these changes can take a long time. It could take 1, 2, 3 years to be in a place where you could say, okay, now I can have a regular amount coming out of my account, because you can't suddenly start saving €500 a month overnight. That's not possible. You're not going to be able to live. So I think just knowing that these things are within my reach, I think that's really important. The groceries as well. I know it sounds so funny, but grocery spending, and I think that's quite common, but can be a really tricky one. Because, you know, one week you feel like this, and the next week you feel like this, and then halfway through the week you feel like, you know, croissant, so you go up and get a croissant, or do you know what I mean? You kind of feel like different things. And so I think I've been really trying to get a grip on groceries, and then eating out, getting the teas, or sitting and having a cake with a friend. Those would be the 2 areas that I'm really conscious of. And so what I do is that if we get a takeaway one week, I'm really conscious that's it now for the month. Or if I meet a friend for coffee or, you know, a cake, I'll say, no, I'm just having tea, I won't have the cake, or something like that. Or I'll say, let's go for a walk instead. So those are the 2 areas I think on a day-to-day basis that really impacts me. And I don't feel limited, really, even though sometimes I'm like, are you sure you know, did you spend too much? But then I think, okay, well, let me just adapt my budget. It's okay. If I did spend too much, it's all right. It's okay. So I think if someone's thinking about doing money coaching, I would definitely say if you're thinking about it, you might as well try it. I think it's not going to hurt you at all, because you can only learn and grow from it, get strategies for your whole life. And I think for me, it's really helped me through the changes. You know, you can have a very stable financial situation and then something happens. And it could be something like something breaks down, you know, like a boiler or a dishwasher, but it could be like me, you get pregnant, or I don't know, somebody needs appointments, lots of health appointments that you have to pay for, or it could be anything that kind of comes in and disrupts your situation. And I think then those skills really come into play, because then you can say, okay, I don't need to panic, let me move this or alter this, or actually we need to stop this, or, you know, simple things like at the moment I have Amazon Prime because I want to watch a particular series, and I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that, and I know once I'm kind of watched that series and I'm finished with it, I can cancel it. That's been kind of, it's just like a lightness. There's just more of a peace around it, you know, and a confidence.